Once you have your design completed, you're ready to turn it into a pattern. And this is my favorite part because it feels a little bit like magic to me. What we're going to do is first group everything together. So this right here is one shape and this is another shape, but we need them all to be grouped together. What's good is if you have this clipping mask situation, this is already grouped. But I want to show you what to do if you have a plain grid first. So if your shapes are just in a strict grid, they're not in a diagonal and they don't jut up against a clipping mask, this is really straightforward. The first thing you're going to do is just hover over all of them and you're going to group them together. And you group them together by holding down Command or Control and then G. Then you let go and now they're grouped together. Notice that the fill over here has a question mark, and that's because this group there are several different fill colors being used, so it doesn't know which one to account for. Now that we have this all grouped together, what I'm going to do is, while the group is selected, drag it right over to my swatches panel, and you should see that there's a plus sign, and if you let go, we have just created a swatch out of this shape. Now I'm going to click away, and when I've clicked away, I can now double click this swatch, and that will make the pattern options dialog box pop up. I can name this ice cream, and now I just want to show you a few of the options here. So the one that is in blue, the one that's squared, is our original work, and everything else that's faded out more is what it would look like if the pattern repeated. And just to show you what happens, let's say I change something about the pattern, right? I can't select just one thing because this is grouped together, but if I use the direct selection tool, I can select, let's say I want to make this orange. Let's say I want to make it a creamsicle instead of a lemon thing. So what I can do is maybe pick, let's go back because this was our original color. So let's try getting the colors back to that harmony. And now we can find an orange. Or let's make this purple. Let's say I wanted to make these lemon pops grape flavored. So I'm going to change that one to grape, and just look that all of the pops that were in this spot have now become purple instead of yellow. Let's say I make the cone green. So now all of those cones are going to be green. I'm going to hit undo because I don't actually want to do that. And now I want to focus your attention on the pattern itself. So I think that this is too close, right? There isn't any space on the side between this and that, between where they're all bleeding into each other. So what you can do about that is in width and height, you can just nudge some space in, and that will depend on the box you have. If you have the box like with the bagels, that won't be a problem. But when you just have this grid and it's not in a square, that can become a problem. Now I'm also going to nudge that up a little bit to give this more space. I also want to point out that there are other options, not just a grid. Because this is a grid, it makes sense to just use the simple, straightforward thing, but there's also brick by brick. You can do it by column. You can do a hex column. You can do a hex row. Now again, I don't think this really works for this specific thing, but it is something that's good to know about, and I think that that's a little bit too much space. Okay, once I decided that I think this looks right, I'm going to hit done. Now notice that all of those pattern things seem to have gone away. They haven't, it's just that there was nothing there. I moved my group off, and I go back to swatches, and now I'm going to make a box, clicking away. I'm going to make a box that fills the entire span of my artboard. And there you have it. My pattern fills the swatch. And I think that looks pretty cool. If there's something I don't like about it, like maybe this is too high, what I can do is double click it and then make some changes. Maybe that needs to be less. Pull it in more, and now I can hit done. And now we see that the pattern has changed. So that's how you would make a pattern with a grid. In the next video, I'm going to show you what to do if you have the seamless box over here.